But the issue that I love most about Dr. King is not just that he helped lead the civil rights movement and destroy segregation and so forth. This man was an incredibly courageous man. You know why he was courageous? If you were sitting, in a sense, all the media, everybody loved you, and you look at what you did. You got the Voting Rights Act, and you desegregated the South. What did he do next?
He preached against the war in Vietnam.
That's right.
And poverty.
That's
he talked
exactly
about poverty
right.
And then everyone turned their back on him.
And they said, you know what they said to him? They said, you are an African-American leader. Your job is to worry about civil rights. Who the hell are you talking about the war in Vietnam? Why are you talking about distribution of wealth? But because this guy was a brilliant guy, and this is what I love about him, he began, his mind grew and grew and grew. That's a smart person. You know what I mean? You don't stay in the same place your whole life.
Absolutely.
And he began to understand. Yeah, so we broke down segregation at a lunch counter. Absolutely. What the hell difference does it mean if you can't afford the hamburger?
Absolutely.
If you can't afford to send your kid to school?
Absolutely.
And if you're talking about nonviolence, and the United States in the war in Vietnam was the major perpetuator of violence, you're a hypocrite if you don't talk about it. He was not a hypocrite. Where was Dr. King when he was assassinated?
He was in Memphis.
Doing what? He was supporting a union effort to improve wages and working conditions for people who were terribly exploited. That's what he was doing. And what was he working on? What was the big project that he was working on in the last months of his life? A poor people's march. Okay? That was not just African Americans. That was whites. That was Hispanics, Native Americans.
And that's exactly what I'm getting to. You have been the only candidate that I have seen able to connect people who were once disconnected in this way. And I believe the disconnection is something that is orchestrated. I believe it's something that's encouraged. I believe it's something that for the last at least 40, 50 years, there has been a political agenda to make sure that people choose teams.
Let me tell you a story about that one, Mike.
Gotcha.
In the 1950s, what state in this country had the lowest paid white workers? What state? Take a guess.
I would imagine Georgia or Alabama.
Try Mississippi.
That makes sense.
Okay. What did the whole system tell these white workers who were the lowest paid white workers in the United States of America? In other words, these workers were being exploited. Yeah. What they said is, you can go to that water fountain and drink, and the black guy can't. You can go to that bathroom, you can go to that restaurant. Man, you got it good. Yeah. Meanwhile, we're paying you nothing. So you divided blacks from whites, in this case, whites from blacks. Absolutely. And this is what they always do. Then they go and they say, see that woman up there? She's an uppity woman. She wants your job, man. Yeah. You're not gonna let that woman take your job. You gotta divide from her. And that guy's gay over there, man. Yeah. You gotta hate him. Yeah. Gonna destroy your marriage because he's gay. You gotta hate him. Oh, and there's a person speaks with a Spanish, you know, a little bit Spanish. Yeah. Came from Mexico. You're supposed to hate that, man. You're not gonna work with those people. That has been what the ruling class has done over and over again. Why? Because they understand when we come together, you fight for decent wages. When you fight for education for your kids, you fight to strengthen Social Security. We win, hands down. Yeah. But if they divide us up, they win.
It's amazing, man, the Democratic Socialist guy.